Okay, Bezat Hashem, we are back at the Mokum HaKodesh, David Chai over here, Tzad Dishmaya. Siman Reish Lamed Bet, we're holding in Siv Bet. Yesterday we read the whole Siv. We're going to go to the Mishnah Berurah, but today I just want to point out it's 19th of the month of Mar Cheshvan, Wednesday. Actually, it's no longer 19, it's actually 20th of Mar Cheshvan, Wednesday night. The fifth, Wednesday night is the fifth of the week already. Going into Thursday, the 5th day of the week of Parashat Shabbat Chayei Sarah B'ezrat Hashem. You have to understand that all this language today, the foul language, today is what they think it's November 20th. There is no such a thing in realms of Hashem. In the reality, there is no such a date. The day is in the not ancient. That's the way Jews are supposed to talk. Tonight is the 5th of the day of the week of Shabbat of Chayei Sarah. That's the way Jews are supposed to talk. Actually,
I heard that you don't even you're not allowed to write like the numbers. If you want to write a check, so 5th November, write like November. You cannot write like there like numbers.
Yes and no. Some say the other way around.
Yeah.
Some say numbers are better than names because names are Greek for Greek and ancient. Whatever they have, it's a whole big machloket. So therefore, most are abbreviate NOV. That's it. The best thing is to NOV, the date you abbreviate, and according to if you want to be mamash to fulfill properly, you're supposed to say according to their numbers. You're supposed to say according to their dates.
According to their dates, except like the check, if you're going like to
according to the you on top of good write also. That's not a problem. If you're writing checks, I don't know. No problem. You write still checks.
No.
Jewish months of were
also Greek. Also Greek names. Right, but I already have a rabbi's Greek name, then I have the Avodah Zarah Greek name. Because Avodah Zarah name is co-exciting with their angels and all whatever they have in their reality, according to them, their spirits. We are obviously going to go with Hashem, where we're trying to imbue the world with Kedusha. They're trying to imbue the world with impurity. That's why they changed the date. That's why the whole world, and I believe that's what the Gemara actually means. In the end of days, there will be no God-fearing at all. Like, look, and what does that mean, no God? 2,000 years ago, the kings cared about God? No, the Gemara says clearly, they bow down to the sun, all of them. So what does that mean? What's the chidush over here? The chidush over here is that it's going to be so, you could see Hashem. All you have to do is just look, but the governments are going to make sure to block it from you and the whole, that's a different topic. Let's go into our Siv Bet. We're gonna dissect little by little what we said yesterday. Maybe it's gonna take us a few days because it's actually very long. The Siv itself, number 2, was very long in Shulchan Aruch, but it's kedai. What is Seudah? What is Tamuch LeMincha? What all those things mean? And the Halachot of the Mincha is appropriate for this occasion. So we just finished Mincha in Arvit. So let's go. Let's delve into it. So he says like this. If you take a look down in the Mishnah Berurah, Siv Katan Hey. Siv Katan He is discussing what the reality of the halakha immediately. Lo yeshev adam listaper. Samuch, right? So listaper. So first he tells me lo yeshev adam. What does that mean? Well, hine mipnei sheb'sa'iv ze yesh bo pratim rabim. So he says here, right away the Mishnah Berurah says, you have to know that, I don't know why I have to tell you this, but we already read. So he says, there are so many details in this Siv. Lachen mukhrach anochi le'arich tzat. Therefore, I'm going to give you an introduction in order to settle everything, the whole Siv, in order to compare. Again, we discussed different topics yesterday. Anybody missed it? You have a videotape on the 2 Laws Daily on YouTube channel. 2 Laws Daily. You don't get lost. There's about 2,400 videos there only. So if you're looking for Halachot Mincha, you'll find it. There's only 2 classes. This is the 3rd. Lo yeshev adam. So he says like this. So what's the details? The following. Hine kol ze haSaif. The entire Siv le'inyan achila v'chen le'inyan listaper. It's discussing the Suda, the meal part before Mincha, taking a haircut, v'likanes le'merchatz, taking a bath, going to the bathhouse. It's not like today you have Baruch Hashem b'lei Nara. You walked into your shower and you're out in 5-10 minutes. Baruch Hashem. Depends how quickly you get dressed. If you went to Russian army, it's probably 45 seconds. But if not, whatever. But anyway, it's fast. In those days, they had to go into a bathhouse. And it had to be make sure that, there's a whole, whatever, the Mishka gets involved in. Like you went to Banya, you went to Russian Banya, Avram, you ever went to Rosh Banya?
No.
Zachita.
We've been like in the Israeli army.
But there's no Rosh Banya. Rosh Banya. Banya is relaxing. You stay there. Like a spa. That's right. It takes time. This is exactly what we're talking about here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and it takes time. That's the thing. ושאר דברים הנזכרים פה, and all the other things that are in this halacha. הוא משנה בפרק כמה דשבת. So as we told you, this is actually word for word, almost word for word verbatim in the Mishnah in Halachot in Masechet Shabbat. The asur samuch lemincha, which discusses all the prohibitions which are approximate or close to mincha, in the proximity of mincha. ולא בארה המשנה איזו מנחה. So the Mishnah, just like Mishnah over there left us in the guessing, which mincha, what mincha are you talking about? Mincha gdola, mincha ktana. There are two mincha, right? היא mincha gdola, והיא משש שעות וחצי ולמעלה, which is what? 6.5 hours after the sunrise, which is today, was about approximately 12:37, 36. Okay? That's appropriately, today approximately in Hollywood, is the time you are allowed to start davening mincha. סמוך להוא חצי שעה קודם. So now, what would be סמוך? Also, we don't know what סמוך means. סמוך means close to mincha. What does it mean? Does it mean before or after? I don't know. Right? So we see over there, the halacha is established, it has to be half hour before. So meaning, you want to start eating a meal. Let's say today was 12:36. They're saying סמוך למנחה is about 12:05, just to be on the safe side. That's what says my name over there. Right? So what would you do? That means after 12:05, you are not allowed to, or 12:05 and on, you cannot start all those things that we discussed, taking a haircut, going to the bed house. You cannot take, what's his name? You cannot sit down to eat a meal. You cannot go to, where else we said, Azar? Go into the dye places where they take the hive and they dye it and they cook it, right, to make it soft.
Yeah.
What?
Beit
Beit?
Orot.
It's called Beit Orot?
Yeah.
The house of, what?
No, or like that.
The leather of the skin of the animals is very hard, like a rock. So you have to soften it. You have to cook it. There's a process. So that was what many Jews were doing the business, obviously, in those days. So that's remember, it's also profitable. Sefer Torah, mezuzot, all those things also. So there's lishma. There's a lot of things involved. There's in Hilchot Tefillin it discusses that a lot. דהיינו תכף אחר הצות היום. So meaning right immediately after midday, which is 12:05, or mincha ktana, or maybe the Mishnah really means mincha ktana. What is mincha ktana? דהי מתשע שעות ומחצה ולמעלה. So like this, you had, let's just for argument's sake, nets is 6, let's say 6 o'clock, right? 6 o'clock would be nets, half of day. Let's take a regular average 12-hour day. 12-hour day, you have nets 6 o'clock, sunset 6 o'clock, right? So you have half and half. So it means what? You add 6 hours to 6, it will be 12. 12 to the next 6, that's already nightfall. So after 12, you have to add, obviously we're talking about the Shawan's Maniyot, but I'm saying to make it easier, just for the argument point. So meaning if you add the Netzach Hamas 6, then you have 6 o'clock is Chatzot Yom. So that time, from that time till, that's the mincha, what? Mincha ktana, from 6 to 6 till, from 12 to 12:30 in the afternoon. Okay? So now, for argument...
12 to 12:30?
Yeah, no. That's the... Mincha gdola. Now, what is mincha ktana? Mincha ktana has to be the 6 o'clock minus 2.5. What is that? 3.5. So how many hours is that? That's 9.5 hours from nets. 9.5 hours. That's the starting point of... So that means 3:30. So at 3 o'clock you will where do you apply this laws that we just discussed yesterday?
About the food.
Right. That half hour, is it before what's the name? Does it start from 3:30 till 4, or are we talking about 12 to 3? We don't know, because reality also the Mishnah itself does not tell us anything about it. Now we're discussing. גם לא בהירה המשנה מה דאסרה לעניין אכילה. Also, wait a minute. What? Just you can't eat an apple? You want to eat an apple. You want to eat something. The Mishnah was not telling us specifically what you're allowed to eat, when you're not allowed to eat. It just tells you asur. What is asur? What you eat talking about?
A meal.
Huh?
A meal.
It didn't say karov lemincha. It says achila. The lashon of the Mishnah here. מסתפר למנחה, okay? לדין ולא לאכול, ולא לאכול, it says. It doesn't say סעודה. It says לאכול. So what לאכול? If you have what's the name? You're eating a TikTok. Are you over Isur? Well, okay, that's what we're talking about, right? So, but the Mishnah did not specify. It's also talking about, what's his name? Maybe talking about a feast. A Suda Gdola, right? From now on, we're going to mention it means a feast. A feast means not a family affair. It has to be like a party, event. Event. Yeah. Let's do like this. Suda Gdola is event. To make it for argument, for make it easy for us. The Hainu Suda Nisuin, High Governor, anything that involves with a big entourage with people with like a marriage or like we said yesterday, bar mitzvah, as asur. That for sure everybody agrees that will be asur. Shema Yavor Zman Mincha. We're afraid that you're going to start a meal with people. People get carried away, right? Some people start drinking.
Is it already from what time?
Oh, so we don't know yet. It's just telling you it's asur. What, where, and how, we don't know yet. Okay. Or afilu seudat ktana ki seudat kol adam asur. Or maybe even a person eating a pastrami sandwich by himself. Asuda. He didn't. It's obvious to Mishnah Brura that achila means we're in the first white lines of Mishnah Brura in Matzliach. Or it's talking about it has to be a meal. It can't mean eating an apple. Apple is not a meal. Okay, that's maybe it's not a little snack. It has to be some kind of meal. So we are going to be noted to say that when it says over here lo echol, it means a meal. Only the question is now between an event meal or a private meal or a private individual meal like a family meal. Dilma atele amshuchem. Same thing also. Maybe he meant that you're going to start eating a pastrami. And you're gonna say, you know what? How delicious pastrami was. Let me make another one. It's gonna, just to let you know, gentlemen, we have zero understanding. If you take a look at all the Gemarot, throughout the whole Shas, it looks like the rabbis ate. Every meal is 4 or 5 hours, and it was a meal in those days. Now I'm not talking about the Suda mitzvah. They were just eating. And it took, and Ben Ish Chai explains over there, Api Zohar, Api Kabbalah, that every bite you take is supposed to chew 40 times, and each bite, and there's Kabbalot. So obviously, when you're in the realm of, if you are in a Maurah, you could do that. You go to a dead body and say, get up and talk to me. You could afford to do that. And that's how they achieved it.
So today, if we're eating fast, it's not a good sign?
Of course
you
not.
You just want to eat quickly so you can go
No, for sure it's not healthy. All this fat over here, what do you think it's for? Eating like a I'm swallow and go. No, it's supposed to eat chewing. I remember. I'm telling you, 1991, my science teacher, he told me, gentlemen, you see how skinny I am at almost 80 years old. Boy, look, he could fight, give us a zets, we fly out. I was in 10th, 11th grade, whatever. The guy was strong. And he says, yeah, he doesn't swallow anything until it's completely digested in his mouth.
Wow.
You understand what's going on here? And so it's healthy. Besides being healthy, it's also, if you're doing properly, there was a goy. We're talking about the Kabbalah, and the whole this concept. So obviously, if you're even eating pastrami, just imagine yourself, a pastrami sandwich, how many cubic feet? It's half a cubic feet over there, right? You have 2 rice slices, you have that. So divided into pieces, let's say you have 20 bites. Small bites, you're not supposed to have. Or let's say even 10 bites. Each bite you have to chew 40 times. That's fun. Believe me, your tooth will jaw will hurt. Hey, so he says maybe it's gonna be Moshech. V'chen k'hai gavna yesh leistapek b'shar dvarim. Maybe it's in the same category. Maybe we have a doubt in all the other things. Hamuskarim b'mishnah that you like this. Let's say for instance you go into dyeing the what's the name, the ore, the leather. Right? So also same thing. Maybe you see that it's not doing the proper job because it was like a machine. It was like a cooking process. It was like a cooking process. Actually, it would cook for days on, 3 days in a row. Right? They have to be. So let's say the temperature is not the right. So then you started working getting gachalim, getting coals inside, so you might get carried away and halas, you're gonna miss mincha. Okay. The Hainu Shasur likanes lemerchatz. This is what we say that it's prohibited to go into the bathhouse. Idavka lechola milta de merchatz. Meaning, or maybe it talks everything that's related to merchatz, to the bathhouse. The Hainu, what does that mean? Lachov rosho. Even just to wash your head is going to be asur. We don't know exactly what Mishnah meant. To wash your head is maybe asur. Ulishtatev bechamin betzonen ulazia. Maybe it's just mean to go into a sauna just to sweat. I don't know what it means exactly here. That's what the rabbi is explaining. Well, afilu le'azia be'alma asur. Maybe just to walk in, just to sweat a little bit.
Just goes to the mikvah 5-10 minutes. You're in and out.
No. The question is what's asur. The rabbi is just giving us right now. He's setting us straight. Remember, there's a very long sieve. It's a very long sieve. It's going to take us a couple of days maybe. But he's giving us a footing here. He's telling us we really don't know what Mishnah meant, because Mishnah just talk general. So which part? That's what Mishnah Berurah says. Shema, maybe italev ba'achamat chom amirchat. So everybody knows what's the problem that you are not allowed to go into bathhouse. We're afraid, which is a very unfortunately common thing, where people overextend their time in the sauna and they faint. Now, person who faints, obviously, skips mincha. And that's the problem. V'chen le'inyan brusiki. All the same thing goes to the dyeing of the leather. Idavka, so now says Mishnah Berurah, maybe this is all talking about lebursiki gdola. Or maybe it's talking about only if you have a big manufacturing house of leather dyeing. Maybe that's going to be asur. Or afilu la'aniyeh balma. No, it's talking about even maybe the small one. Maybe people have privately, they're doing small things, just trying to make a few bucks. Maybe even the small one is not allowed. Okay, hi gamna b'sharei dvarim ka'asher muskarim bazeh hasayif. And all the things that, again, so Rabbi says, vividly explaining us, we have zero idea what Mishnah meant. Bottom line, we hear the words. We hear haircut. We hear suda. We hear judgment. We hear leather, dyeing leather, and we hear suda. What's his name? Right? The shower. Right? But we don't know exactly what it means. V'yesh sham b'Gemara shnei tirutzim. So Gemara gives unto everything the Gemara mentions over there gives us two explanations. Does the Gemara do us a favor or no?
Yes.
No, it's not.
Why not?
No, it's not. It's giving you, whenever Gemara gives you two scenarios, that's the worst thing in the world, because you don't know what's asur. It's this or that.
But like from the other side, like she opened, like like the thing, like explain it,
No.
Maybe like you have like 2 ways, like
No.
something.
The best Gemara, Habibi, one statement.
Okay.
One explanation. That's the best Gemara. It gives you a Mishnah, explanation, let's go on. When the Gemara gives you two scenarios, what is that? That's the worst in the world.
Okay.
Because now it's always the Rishonim, it's up to the Rishonim, it's up to the Achronim to tell us what's Asur, what is the meaning here. ולתרוויהו איירי המשנה במנחה גדולה, okay, ולתרוויהו איירי, it's talking about in the two scenarios, המשנה במנחה גדולה. The mincha over there, we have established it, it's talking about specifically מנחה גדולה. תירוץ כמה, that was the first answer. The כוונת המשנה שאסרה סמוך למנחה גדולה, the mincha, really the Mishnah totally prohibited for you to do all these activities before small mincha, which means 12:30 in the afternoon. Dafka b'seuda gdola. There it's talking about specifically having a large meal event. V'haseuda ktana mutar le'atchil ad zman samuch lemincha ktana. However, from there we learn that anytime you start a small seuda, any meal time, you're allowed to do it even in the time in Gdola. So that's the asur over here. The asur over here. So let's see the scenario. It's telling us mincha ktana. You should not start what? You should not start seuda gdola even from the mincha gdola. When you come to the mincha ktana, you shouldn't start for sure not mincha seuda gdola, but it's okay seuda ktana only. No, it's also not okay if it's within half hour. Even seuda ktana. Meaning, mincha gdola, you're allowed to start seuda ktana anytime you want till the 3:30 period, right?
סעודה חייב להיות על הלחם?
סעודה קטנה, yeah, obviously. It has to be, it says בסעודה.
זאת אומרת, אם זה לא על הלחם, זה לא נחשב סעודה.
Well, that's right, yeah. That's not a word, because, again, so what are you eating right now? Let's say you're eating a cake. You're not going to eat...
No, but I can eat like chicken, I can get rice, I can eat salad.
Good, but you're not going to get carried away.
No.
Because the problem with bread, you know what the problem with bread is? I tell you, it's a stigma. People are afraid, unfortunately, this generation especially, I'm talking about my experience. I don't eat one sliced bread or two sliced bread. Once you start eating, Habibi, the avon poteach, you want to take another sandwich, and you might even take the third sandwich. That's how you become fat. What do you think? Well, you're going to be, but because remember, especially in our generation,
but the point is what? You're going to get tired.
Before that,
you're going to forget.
No, nimashech. The tired is in the bathhouse. That's the only excuse. That we're going to be continuing.
Tired is for
for instance, pizza. I don't eat pizza. Pizza for Sfaradim, there is no heter to make mezonot on pizza. unless it's apple juice or milk. That's it.
Yeah.
Nothing. No. So now, if I eat slice of pizza, you know what happens when I eat slice of pizza? Come on, I'm a big guy. It's the second slice. I'm a guy. If you eat the pizza shops over here, they don't make a pizza like in New York. You need to eat 3 slices, sometimes 4 slices, and that's what we're afraid of. That's exactly what we're afraid of.
But the point is, my question is, you're afraid. Okay, you ate a lot, and then what? Because you ate, you're gonna forget to daven on time.
I forgot who I'm talking to.
Eating like it's going to be like longer. You're going to get another piece of bread and another piece. And
You get carried away. You get carried away.
You're gonna
Yeah.
miss mincha.
Yeah, but again, we're talking to normal people. We're talking about healthy people, not like us.
Mincha gdola or
Mincha
mincha
ktana.
ktana?
Mincha ktana. Mincha gdola is asur suda gdola. You're not allowed to have a big event meal. But mincha ktana, even the small meal, you're not allowed to have. That means the whole day you're allowed to have a small meal, right? Most people today in America eat lunch at 1 o'clock. Well, no, you could ask without raising questions. What's the question?
So if you do mincha gedola, like for example, like here they have minyanim and the kola like at 2 p.m.
Right.
If you do that, technically afterwards you can do a seudah.
Afterwards, we don't have a problem at all. The question is now beforehand.
Beforehand.
This is where the problem starts. We're afraid. But let's say you do mincha by koilel. Very nice. Okay, that's not a problem. The shaila is, let's say a person who is steady having a mincha by koilel. Can he start a seudah at 1:30? Remember, the Mishnah, there's a third explanation. This is the third explanation, but I wanted to say it later, but now, the Wadi is sticking it out. Baruch Hashem. He's sticking it out. You know what? That's why Mishnah didn't give you any scenario. You know why? Your mincha. There's actually a Mishnah Berurah about it. What about your mincha? I have mincha every day, 2 o'clock, like koilel, let's say, right? So can I start my meal half hour before that?
He's at
No.
work. He's somewhere in downtown or whatever. Right?
Yes, that's exactly
He's
what
not
we're
coming
talking
home. The mincha is early now.
Good. So the question is for all those
Can
people.
you have lunch?
So can they have lunch half hour? If it's before half hour, yes. If they start out, let's say at 45 minutes, and they're going to finish in half hour, which will make it 15 minutes left of mincha, no problem. No problem. But he have to think, Chacham enav berosho. We have to make everything meticulously. We have to understand how we are planning everything out, right? There's another explanation to be lenient. Some are even more lenient. That really the Gemara didn't mean the Seudah Ktana, ever. Even, let's say you're holding, let's say, like here, today we have Mincha 5:15, you want to start eating a meal 4:50. You want to eat your sandwich, pastrami. And you know, Habibi, there's some people are meticulous. They don't want to eat anything after 5 o'clock. His wife said, make a pastrami sandwich. So 4:50, he started quickly to eat. It's going to take him 10 minutes. He's going to bench. Takes him 2-3 minutes, and he'll be in the shul by 5:15. So he says that's going to be also allowed. That's not going to be asur. Because it's a quick thing, 1, 2, 3, and before. The Tirutz Batra, and the last explanation of the answer, the Kavanat Mishnah Le'esor afilu seudah ktana samuk lemincha gedola. Over there, it's talking about specifically the prohibiting you that there is some opinion that say that everybody agrees with also mincha gedola. You're not allowed to start a big meal, event meal. But there are some hold that no, you can even have your pasari sandwich even before the mincha gedola, even before 12:30. Wow. So again, this is a prefix. Mishnah Berurah is telling us these beautiful precepts. In all will be davar b'mkomo. Each one will be dissected and presented in its own appropriate place. So it says over there, Harif, Rambam, all those poskim, Paskuk Tirutz Batra that they hold. Yeah, listen to this. Rambam is of opinion with the Rif together that you cannot start your pastrami sandwich within a half hour of your afternoon mincha, the early mincha, even there. That's a chubra. I mean, that's more than
the late mincha. 30 minutes.
No, early mincha we're saying.
Okay.
But mincha, late mincha for sure not. We're talking about now, even early mincha not. So that we'll have to dissect as we go along. V'zeu shesatam mechaber kemotam. Oh, and that's why mechaber over here did not leave us any. What's his name? He did not give us any explanation. He left the Mishnah open, just like a Mishnah. Why? Because mechaber had intention, like Riv and Rambam, to be asur all sudot before mincha. All Suda, doesn't matter. Big meal, small meal, doesn't matter. Everything was Suda. The Harema, however, Rema, Beresh Dvarav, right away, he right off the bat started talking about what, if you remember? Over here, started discussing V'yesh Cholkim. Cholkim on what? On the meal portion. So Rema said now, he argues, Ketirutza Kama, as we already explained, according to the first option in the Gemara. which tells us that Mincha Ktana, even there will be permission for you to eat a quick meal before. It's not a problem. So says the Mishnah Brura, this is just to give you an outline on what we discuss, what's going to be discussed here now from now on. Let's go. Let's delve into it. We have 5 more minutes, or we can do it tomorrow.
Okay, I think for me tomorrow.
I think
Okay, let's do it tomorrow. Whoever needs to wake, בשמחה, without any problem with any tzarot. Only good things.
Thank you.